Good morning, folks. It's Saturday, June the 9th, 2018. I'm a half a mile from the summit of Plateau Mountain in the Catskills. Actually was at the summit and walked past it by mistake, so I'm a little bit further. So I'm going to turn around and head back on the Devil's Path again. Been up here for back and forth weekends, about a month now. Plateau, as you may expect, it's pretty flat at the top. We're in a pine forest and it's a real nice walk. Nice and sheltered. It's kind of a crisp June day, which is good. It's keeping the bugs away. So, I'm not going to talk too much. I'll take you for a walk around and some pictures on the way down. See you in a while. Okay, we're still just starting to come down from the summit now on the eastern side. We're going to hit a little opening here, which is probably, I'm going to say, the best view on this side of the mountain right now with all the foliage. See as you come around here. Get down onto this rock here. So here we are. Right directly across from us is Sugarloaf, which is on the Devil's Path. Off to the left is Catskill High Peak. I know the camera's not going to pick this up, but I can just barely make out a radio antenna and a fire tower over there, and that would be Mount Tremper. Pretty sure that's about 10 miles from here, I think. So yeah, we came up from the valley down below there. That's where we started out. It's pretty much straight down that way, then over this way in Mink Hollow to down there. So we got about, it's not that far, it's only about 4 miles. So take a few more pictures on the way down. But we're lucky too, because it's starting to cloud up a little bit, keeping the temperature down, so the bugs aren't out. A little bit of a scramble here. Yeah. There. Not too terrible. Probably the worst one. Guessing a little less than halfway from the summit. And it's still fairly steep here with some loose rocks, so it's a slow go for me. I mean, there's folks that can do this whole path in 24 hours, but I'm not one of them. One of the reasons why I'm not going to pick up any kind of speed on these loose rocks. My luck, I'll go tumbling. Not too bad in here. Just slowly making our way down. Quite a few people up here today too. Past 5 different groups so far. So it's a typical Saturday in the summertime. Yeah, I'll take a few more on the way down. There's one part of the trail here that gets kind of interesting if you're not paying attention as you're coming up. you'll come up to this. Now, my first inclination was to just keep going straight. Then I saw this kind of a trail off to the right. But in actuality, the trail goes up that way. And luckily enough, it is marked so you can pick it out. If you miss this part, you're going to be bushwhacking if you go this or that way. And there's a lot of these switchbacks on this side. As you can see, it kind of follows a cliff face here. And back down. Every once in a while, but not very often, the first one I've seen in a couple miles, you'll see a little yellow blob on the tree. That's the marker that people put up for the long path, which kind of shares the same trail as the Devil's Path does. So if you see that on the trees and you wonder what it is, it's the intersection of another trail that goes through the Catskill Park. So normally what we'd be looking for are these red markers which go east and west, blue markers which go north and south, I believe, and yellow markers which are spur trails. I better look it up. So we're starting to come down to the call between the two mountains, between Plateau.
Time 1 hour, 31 minutes, 8 seconds. Distance 2 miles. Pace 45 minutes, 33 seconds per mile. Split pace 49 minutes, 48 seconds per mile.
Well, that's interesting. They just announced that. I have an app called Map My Fitness. I turned it on at the top, so as you could hear, I was 2 miles from the top. Taking my time, 45-minute miles. We're not setting any records here. So, just want to point out too, there's a couple of yellow discs over here. You can camp virtually anywhere in the Catskills on state land. Same for the Adirondacks. What the state will do is mark out certain places where you can camp, because the rule they have in place is you can't camp within 150 feet of a trail or 150 feet of a waterway or a stream. But every once in a while they'll be nice and they'll pick out a spot that's nearby and they'll mark it's approved camping. And we got some folks down here by the sign. As you can see, there's like 1,200 feet in elevation. Oh. Uh-oh. I think I stumbled on some trail magic here. Do you support folks here?
Yeah, it's a resupply station.
Yeah, for somebody doing an ultra, are they?
No, it's all Devil's Path.
Oh, okay.
Oh, how's it going? So here's one of our guys right now. All right, so we've got water.
So I just stumbled on looks like a guided tour. People from the city a lot of times will pay guides to bring them up on these trails, and they'll have a couple gallons of water and some dried fruit and tell you to take a couple deep breaths and send you on your way. So that's what you're into. So yeah, I'm in the final like 1/8 of a mile here coming down this trail. Used to be an old roadway, St. Hollow Road, I believe. Don't know how old it is, but it's been here quite a while, never been paved. So that pretty much concludes the adventure for the day. There's no sign in on this. It's not an official DEC trailhead. It's just a dead end of the road. So turned out to be a nice day. Probably about 6 miles in all, round trip. Couple hours on a Saturday morning. A nice breeze, keeping the bugs at bay. So until next time, happy hiking.